Sapient. An honest movement in management education.
Now let me come to the topic of today, and that is Japan. Japan, as you know, has been suffering from the worst cataclysm in its history. The cataclysm came on 11th March and it shook the whole country. Repeatedly, the repeated disaster happened there. Tsunami, earthquake, volcano. It seems that none of these disasters spared Japan. But is this Japan a special case on our globe that gets afflicted by a natural disaster repeatedly? On first glance, it seems that all these natural disasters, volcanic eruptions, tsunami, earthquake, they are unrelated activities. And they may occur randomly without any order. They may occur, people think and people believed for thousands of years that because we have sinned and that God has inflicted punishment on us. And it's very difficult to digest this fact that how can we sin when we are God-loving or God-chosen people. So the story that I'm going to take you through, the journey I'm going to take you through in coming 40 minutes will be about the story of the discovery of plate tectonics. Now, plate tectonic is one of the revolutionary ideas in science. Like the Copernicus, when he discovered that this cosmos or this, the world we are living in is not geocentric, but heliocentric. It was a revolutionary idea in one sense. So in the same way, the plate tectonic is one of the revolutionary idea because it unifies all these disasters in a single sweep. It explains that these seemingly scattered activity that seem random are not so random. There is, beneath them, there is some order. And if we can understand that order, we can organize system very effectively. Now, plate tectonic is a wonderful idea, but what is more wonderful and amazing is the story behind that discovery. The story behind those people, of those brilliant mind who find that how did you discover this plate tectonic? There were many scientists in different epoch. They came up with the solutions and moved ahead or took this discovery one step ahead. And then another scientist come, he tried to resolve this puzzle and took one step ahead. On around 200 years, at last this mystery was resolved. So let me begin with plate tectonic lecture now. Now, this lecture is basically not only to understand plate tectonics. That is simply could be done in 15 minutes. The purpose of this lecture is to see that how genius, how brilliant mind works. We will see when they are confronted with the puzzles, how do they resolve it? And we are going to meet brilliant mind of different times in different countries, and we'll see that how did they discover it. Now, tectonic plate is one sense the range of the earth. And let me begin and let me take you 500 years ago in colonial history. And this is basically why do some parts of the world erupt and the rest do not? Why do earthquakes strike at some places and do not at others? Why do tsunamis strike at some coast and do not at others? Because it's not randomness that is governing this principle. There is order beneath our crust of earth that is governing this principle. So let me take you to a very interesting journey and see how did this journey started. So we need to go back 500 years ago in colonial time. In colonial time, there was one pope, that is Alexander VI. He came up with the amazing treaty. The treaty was known as Tordesillas in 1493. What he did basically was, he divided the world into two parts, eastern and western part. Eastern part he gave, like you give a trophy to the person. The Pope came and said that, the eastern part belonged to the Portuguese now of the world. I'm talking about the globe. Okay, just imagine. You are here at Spain, and they're saying that eastern part of Portuguese belong to the Portuguese, and western part of the world belongs to the Spaniards. And they did it in the name of looting and plunder, in the name of Christianity. Now, that is very amazing to see. Suppose I am a king or I am some head of a religious organization, and if I give order to my disciple, okay, now you can control the earth. Now the western part is to my first disciple, and the second part, eastern part, is to the another disciple. This may look strange today, but 500 years ago, European basically behaved in a strange way. And that was one of the strange way I told you. Here is a line, how they divided it. That's why the whole colonial story revolves around that. Spaniards come here and Portuguese came here. And our story basically concentrate on this island. Can anybody guess which island is this? Or not island, if I say it's country, part of Indonesia, right? So our story is going to begin with Indonesia. It's a fascinating place, not for those who are living in a tropical country, but those who are coming from a temperate zone. For them, it's a wonderful land. But Indonesia fell to Portugal, like in colonial history, India was ruled by British, Canada was ruled by French, North America was ruled by again Britain, South America was ruled by Spain, and all these things, they divided this land. The first part, Portugal came to, Indonesia fell to Portugal. But later on, after a struggle, Dutch replaced them. Dutch is basically Holland and Netherlands, okay? Now here is a map of Indonesia. Watch it carefully, because this map is going to resolve the biggest mystery of geology. Here it is. Now Indonesia is a place of natural beauty. As I told you that its natural beauty, land with the diversity, with a bewildering variety of animals, plants, birds, and it is a fascinating for those who are coming from temperate zone. Now look at this map carefully. Indonesia is a tropical country, and when Europeans came, they came from temperate zone. Temperate zone is basically, arid, ice-packed. So you don't see that kind of variety of animals, plants, and all this thing in Europe. But when they came to Africa, came to India, came to all other tropical countries, they found it amazing. They found it amazing because there were so many things to explore. There were so many things to observe. And by exploring and observing, they could understand the nature. They could understand and explore the different laws of nature. Here it is, Indonesia was a Dutch colony, and a lot of people from Europe gathered there. Teachers, philosophers, merchants, traders, bankers, everybody came there. For our purpose of a story, it is the concentration of a scientist that is most important. Now, one of those scientists was Philip Sclater. When he came there, he was a genius of his time. When he came there, he saw that there are two islands, Western Island and Eastern Island, that you can divide Indonesia into. And what will be the result of that? Because he saw that there is a different sort of things are available there. Like when he saw this map, he saw that Western Island is like water and Eastern Island is fire, or Western Island is basically entirely opposite from the Eastern Island. And why did he do so? And how did he discover? Western Island have these animals. Remember, I'm talking about Western Island, woodpecker. When he started discovering Western Island of Indonesia, he found these kinds of birds. These kind of birds. Third is this, trogon, shrike. He's moving around, exploring things in Western Island of Indonesia. Minuet, drongo, here are. But the amazing thing was, all these birds were only in the Western Island. They did not exist in Eastern Island. Now in one country, you completely have a different species. Like in Eastern Island, you had these kind of birds. Birds of paradise. Isn't it beautiful? Yes or no?